What's up? The Wayans brothers are back in the business to show what comedy means. You know, the first two scary movies don't care about roasting anything and everything because that's what comedy used to be like, and honestly, we kind of missed it. The OG characters are coming back with a bang, and Marlon Wayans told Entertainment Weekly, "What we're trying to do is bring back laughter. This is about bringing back comedy the way it used to be. And I think the only way to do it is if you have to cancel the cancel culture. We're going to do what we always do. We're going to make fun of everybody because we're equal opportunity offenders. We have a recipe. We have a formula that you can't mimic or copy. And that tells us that the new scary movie isn't going to hold back when it comes to spoofing horror movies, no matter how celebrated they are." The trailer has given us some glimpses of the various films and shows Scary Movie is set to roast, and without any further delay, let's check out the confirmed and heavily teased movies that the Wayans seem ready to put through the ringer. In an interview with Fandango correspondent Nikki Novak at CinemaCon 2026, the Wayans brothers and Anna Faris went crazy while talking about Scary Movie, and right from this discussion, you know that they've tapped into the old crazy energy that made Scary Movie such a hit in the first place. When Nikki asked Marlon, "First of all, horror has given you a plethora of stuff to choose from, but how did you actually choose which scenes you were going to spoof?" the latter simply replied, "Everything. The news, everything. We're getting it. We didn't choose. We just threw everything in the kitchen sink. As long as it's funny, we should go on a date." M3GAN. After releasing in January of 2023, M3GAN became a sci-fi horror hit with some dark comedy mixed in. Oh, and yeah, it's about a doll. But wait, this is 2023, we don't do normal creepy dolls anymore, no way. So Gerard Johnstone gave this one AI, a sassy attitude, and better social skills than I have. So M3GAN is basically this artificially intelligent doll who becomes way too self-aware and starts getting pretty hostile with anyone who gets between her and her human companion. And the horror part of it hits hard because that's just a little too close to reality. The movie was a big box office hit, and of course, the makers quickly churned out a sequel, M3GAN 2.0, which released in 2025, which leaned even harder into the technological chaos. Now, for the Wayans brothers, this is basically a gift. An AI doll dressed like a teenager, acting like a teenager? Yeah, they're not going to let that one slide. They're going to take it one step further and put M3GAN straight into the center of modern internet culture, with M3GAN dancing in the middle of a packed metro, probably trying to go viral. And that's exactly the point. It's more than spoofing the movie, it's about roasting AI and our collective addiction to turning everything into content. And honestly, if they land that roast right, then M3GAN is absolutely cooked.
Somebody help! Help!
Scream! Of course, we can't have Scary Movie making its big return without some Scream influence. We actually owe quite a lot to Scream for making Scary Movie what it is today. We don't think the Scream franchise needs an introduction, though our surviving girl, Sidney Prescott, might need a break because even after decades, her past is now targeting her family. The trailer already launched Ghostface as a comedic element right after it began, and it's safe to say that Scary Movie is going to roast the franchise for a lot of its recent turns. It already seems to roast the subway scene from Scream 6 in the trailer itself. Marlon Wayans also recently said that the Scream franchise is always a great one. Marlon's reference points for Scary Movie feel especially fitting considering the first film is basically a seamless mashup of the 1996 and 97 slasher wave. It's funny because, like a lot of people, I actually ended up watching Scary Movie first, so there are moments where I end up mixing the two in my head and forgetting what came from where. And that should tell you a little about how well the Wayans brothers did their homework when it came to emulating Wes Craven's style and the whole slasher formula. It also looks like they're going to be taking a jab at the hospital scene from Scream 2022 and Netflix's Wednesday series, since Ghostface is going after Tuesday. This feels like yet another meta joke because Jenna Ortega played both Wednesday and the new final girl, Tara Carpenter, in the 2022 and 2023 Scream films. Okay, here's our 2 cents. Since we're getting back Anna Faris and Regina Hall, who were the survivor girls of the original Scary Movie, we have a feeling the Wayans are going to roast the classic idea of Prescott being the ultimate survivor girl in the Scream series, especially considering Ortega's role and the way she became central to the newer Scream movies and the idea of requels. But then again, Cindy and Brenda do have a lot riding on their shoulders. Let's explain why in the next entry. The Halloween sequel trilogy and Maw. So Brenda and Sydney's looks are unmissable for being spoofs of the titular character from Ma and Laurie Strode from Halloween. Brenda is dressed almost too closely to how Sue-Ann appeared in Ma, and given she was in the scene of the party that parodies Sinners, we're thinking Brenda is going to be used to parody the scenes from Ma where Sue-Ann obsessively targets teenagers to party in her basement. And let's not forget how crazy the Ma memes have been, so it's kind of a perfect target. Coming to Halloween, we've got a great bit of the Halloween sequel trilogy with The House, and Regina seems to be mimicking Jamie Lee Curtis's traumatized persona from the David Gordon Green trilogy. She says lines like, "I'm a Republican now, so I'm supposed to be racist." The internet is abuzz with theories that the Wayans brothers are likely to spoof Laurie's painful history and show Cindy surviving in the most bizarre situations like an alien invasion. And honestly, Michael Myers' sudden appearances and disappearances are a gold mine that Scary Movie would love to roast. I Know What You Did Last Summer. This is something the OG Scary Movies already roasted, but intriguingly, right when the Wayans brothers decided to bring Scary Movie back in its full glory, fate gave them another edition of I Know What You Did Last Summer. The 1997 Jim Gillespie directed film was a slasher centered around a group of teenagers who accidentally killed a pedestrian. No brownie points for guessing that that pedestrian wasn't actually dead, and instead tormented the group of friends for years with the words, "I Know What You Did Last Summer," written in random places. And back in the day, the film became the perfect fodder for the Scary Movie movies. The 2025 film followed in the footsteps of the original, and the consensus on Rotten Tomatoes reads, faithfully harkening back to the original, for better or worse. This I Know What You Did Last Summer reboot serves up plenty of nostalgia without finding a compelling hook of its own. Yeah, the new film didn't exactly recreate the magic of the original, and we're sure that Marlon and Sean Wayans are going to have a gala time making fun of the fourth theatrical installment in the franchise. The teaser goes straight after the I Know What You Did Last Summer formula and uses the idea of how ridiculous it is that a group of teens thinks that they can just cover up a deadly mistake and move on like nothing happened. It also gets into that karma is a killer vibe we've seen around the 2025 remake, where everything you do is basically coming back to haunt you. Weapons. No surprise here, Weapons was one of the biggest horror movies of last year. But if they're making a new Scary Movie, then it's just a given that they're going to turn those kids running with their arms wide open in the middle of the night into a running gag. Whoa! I mean, I remember coming across several reels that were parodying this particular scene, and Scary Movie just had to do it. It was kind of iconic. Also, we wouldn't be surprised, and actually low-key kind of even want them to spoof the scenes where Aunt Gladys ties a strand of hair to a twig and breaks it calmly. In fact, Zach Cregger's chaotic horror style is something that can give Scary Movie some amazing points to take jabs at, and interestingly enough, a teaser poster for Scary Movie features none other than Aunt Gladys depicting the character in a messy outfit with smeared lipstick. And of course, they top it off with the tagline, "Aren't you Gladys, I'm back?" After Amy Madigan's Oscar win made Aunt Gladys even more iconic, the Scary Movie marketing leaned straight into that joke, and an Instagram post from the official Scary Movie account shared the poster. But wait, there's more. Scary Movie also incorporated a 6-7 joke into its Weapons parody, and an X post shared this line, which was a parody from the original film. "A group of kids have a bunch of drugs at 2:17 a.m. I'm so fucking high right now. 6-7. We're willing to bet that the Weapons parody is going to be batshit crazy, especially since it's going to be Cindy herself spoofing Aunt Gladys. Heretic. Hugh Grant in a horror movie? Of course, we were in the theaters on the first day. Sadly, Heretic wasn't the most memorable horror film of the last couple years. It set up a lot of expectations, but the horror got kinda lost in the tense, dialogue-driven style of the film and the over-the-top religious debates. Plus, it was kinda dumb of those missionaries to accept the invitation of a strange man, and Heretic even threw in some absurd comedy before Scary Movie even got to it. We saw an X post that said that Heretic was already a spoof, and though we won't pull the film down to that level, we do think that Scary Movie probably got a whole bunch of ammo from Heretic to make fun of. For starters, I think we might get a scene around the blueberry pie and Mr. Reed plot points, and maybe they'll even turn Hugh Grant's intense interrogation sequences into some nonsensical scenario. But yeah, it seems that Heretic will be getting a good hit because Marlon himself has stated that Heretic is on his list. Maybe we'll even get someone wearing the iconic Dahmer-esque oversized transparent glasses. The Substance. Okay, I'm gonna be real. I made the worst decision to watch this movie while having dinner, and of course, I didn't finish half of it. Those who have watched The Substance know exactly what I mean, and those who are still waiting to see Demi Moore's magic on screen, a friendly reminder to not watch it while eating. That said, The Substance was a brilliant film. The performances, the storylines, the grotesque yet praiseworthy body horror, and the message about the negatives of stardom. Coralie Fargy really nailed this one as writer/director. So how can Scary Movie roast a movie that has a whopping 89% on Rotten Tomatoes? Well, the trailer does give us a hint. Scary Movie is going to work around the bizarre idea of using a certain chemical to de-age, and probably will also spoof the body horror elements by carefully using blood in the stupidest way. You know, something like those old school sprays of blood that just keep on coming, even when the blood looks like ketchup. Oh, and the entire procedure of injecting the substance, which seems to be renamed The Stuff, looks ridiculous because it's actually Ghostface administering it? So yeah, playing around with how one gets it done, the directors and amenities might need another area to joke about, and once again, it's Cindy's job to parody Demi Moore. Sinners. Well, this is definitely a tricky one. Sinners is one of my favorite horror movies ever, and my boy Michael B. Jordan absolutely deserved that Oscar. And yet, somehow, Scary Movie still isn't leaving Sinners alone. We've got clear shots in the trailer roasting the film. First, we see a trio dressed as the vampires from Sinners trying to get invited into a house party, and the reaction screams Scary Movie chaos. The moment they reveal their fangs, Shorty, Ray, and Brenda are nowhere near scared. They're just confused, and the scenes ooze a wait, what energy? The lines are also hilarious, taking digs at the overly dramatic party invitation logic, and as usual, Brenda just says the first thing that comes to her mind. I'm not gonna do a Brenda impersonation here, but she says, why you need an invitation? White folks show up to parties uninvited all the time with their little nasty ass casserole. And why she got them dirty ass white girl feet. Her delivery's a little better than mine, but the implications of that scene already have us laughing. Plus, we got Hanson the Butler back, one of our personal favorites from the Scary Movie franchise, and of course, that means the return of his strong hand as well, and now he's using it to preach sermons in a church, seemingly riffing on the church energy and viral sermon-style imagery around sinners, while Hanson uses his strong hand to call him forward. The scene caught fans' eyes due to Ray's outfit, and in all probability, this will be a parody of Caldwell's viral meme moment from 2014, where he claimed, "I'm not gay, I wouldn't date a man, I would not carry a purse, I would not put on makeup, I will love a woman." It's going to be a great meta connection if the Wayans manage to work it out. Longlegs. Now, Longlegs is another film that people had mixed feelings about. We did enjoy the concept, and Nicolas Cage was amazing as ever, but I know people didn't quite feel the grip of the narrative. This is another one of those horror films that divided people, and for Scary Movie, it gave them the right opportunity to sneak it into their film. Nicolas Cage will probably be the primary target, in our opinion. His heavily made-up face might be the softest spot to target, and we have a feeling they're going to put in some physically awkward caricature to recreate Cage's performance, which has already been noted for being extremely erratic and unnerving. Sounds like a goldmine for the Wayans brothers, so expect them to milk it. Also, we can't wait to see what song they choose to have the spoof guy sing to parody the way Nicolas Cage sang in Longlegs. Get Out. Bits and pieces of Get Out are definitely getting trolled, and we already got the famous teacup scene being ripped to pieces in the trailer. It's pretty clear that Scary Movie will be using quite a few parts from Get Out to roast its iconic elements, like the sunken place sequence. The famous sink into the floor scene, where Daniel Kaluuya's character Chris is hypnotized, has been reimagined as Shorty being literally sucked into an armchair. It's safe to assume that the film will also be roasting the performative ally aspect of the Armitage family, which was a crucial narrative point in Get Out's social commentary. Also, here's a fun little update. Wayans recently claimed in a TikTok video that Jordan Peele actually reached out to him about possibly spoofing his films in the upcoming sequel. According to Wayans, Peele was like, "So, are you gonna do one of my movies?" I was like, "Maybe, Jordan, maybe." Plus, Peele and Marlon Wayans have recently worked together on the sports horror film Him, and according to Wayans' version of The Exchange, Peele seemed open to getting Get Out, and maybe even his 2022 film Nope, an exaggerated treatment in Scary Movie. A Quiet Place. Scary Movie has A Quiet Place on its list of roasting targets, and it's about to completely flip that whole stay quiet or you die tension into pure mayhem. Instead of silence and suspense, you just know they're gonna ruin it with the dumbest joke possible. The online rumors are already claiming that there may be a dumb silence-breaking gag, but that part should be treated as a rumor for now. That said, our money's on fart joke. Apart from that, they're also leaning hard into the sign language aspects, but obviously in a weird way, where we may see characters trying too hard to stay silent and overdoing every gesture. There's even a rumored scene where someone steps on a nail and, in pain, starts aggressively signing a whole rant to the monster, and the monster just signs back like, yeah, that hurt me too. These are the kind of rumors we want to see come true, and of course, who other than Cindy will be doing the parody of Emily Blunt's character, right?
You ain't got no moves! Watch this. Boom! Oh. Ooh.
Michael. Scary Movie's connections to Michael Jackson goes back to its third installment, where they took a jab at Jackson and the child abuse allegations against him and did this. Given that a major biopic on Jackson, titled Michael, hit US theaters on April 24, 2026, many of us wondered whether it would give the Wayans brothers fertile ground to spoof the King of Pop again. And, of course it did. In a spoof on the Michael poster, in a recently released clip by Paramount Pictures, we can see Saturday Night Live star Kenan Thompson dressed as Jackson, and that fall from the stairs while doing his signature moonwalk had our sides splitting. Terrifier 3. Yeah, this one's a no-brainer. Scary Movie is aiming to roast the franchise's extreme gore and turn it into absurd comedy by taking the scene from Terrifier 3, where Art the Clown appeared as a mall Santa and blew up a group of children, and giving it a twisted turn. But in Scary Movie's trailer, we see the slasher character handing out severed body parts to children. Since then, we've gotten some exciting updates too. Melissa Rose, who appeared in Terrifier 2, is set to appear in a cameo, and Michael Levy, who portrayed Will the Exterminator in Terrifier and also produced its sequels, also has a cameo in this scene. He took to social media to say it was extremely surreal on so many levels. Not only was it wild to see a character from a franchise we helped pioneer become important enough to be parodied in a major Hollywood production, but it was especially meaningful because it happened within the go-to spoof franchise I grew up loving. What an honor. Smile, an absolutely brilliant choice. See, we loved Smile, but the idea that a creepy grin can be haunting is ridiculous. Yeah, it's super scary, but super weird too. And Scary Movie is all set to focus on the unsettling smiles to elicit laughter. The trailer has already shown Cindy interacting with someone in a hospital with an unnerving smile who gets hit on the head with a bedpan, and we really hope this isn't just a momentary parody because we really want to see how they depict the creature. A wild multiverse action gag. We're sure everybody noticed the women in black bodysuits doing kung fu with sex toys to fight Ghostface, and while some fans are reading this as a nod to Everything Everywhere All at Once, others think it's more of a general action spoof vibe, echoing The Matrix or John Wick. Either way, Oscar-winning movies and high-concept action scenes are clearly not safe in the Wayans brothers' hands. Sadly, guys, that's all we got for you today. The trailer warns us that all lines will be crossed, and we're ready for that. As you've probably gathered, we're pretty big horror buffs, but a well-made parody is something I'll always appreciate because, deep down, we all know that horror movies are built on the kind of tropes that really open the door for spoofs. Let us know your thoughts on the Scary Movie franchise in the comment section down below, and let us know what movies you hope are getting parodied in the upcoming film. Plus, if you like this video, don't forget to hit that bell icon, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.